I'm in the heart of Lancashire, in its historic capital, Preston, almost exactly midway between Glasgow and London. Preston, a city of firsts. The first motorway in the UK, the M6, the first traffic cones ever used, and the first place outside London where they used gas lights. So, what's that going to do with the property? Absolutely nothing at all. But this is the one I'm here to see. At a guide price of 35 to 40,000 quid, it's a flat in this converted Victorian terrace. Let's take a look inside. The terrace was built in 1859, but divided into 2 flats in 1992. It's the 1-bed ground floor flat that I'm here to see. So what's on offer? Oh, I say, that looks pretty good. I'll tell you about that in a minute. We've got this corridor leading down to the rear of the property there, your bedroom there, and then through to the thing I've just seen, which is this. Fantastic, huge living room. Love the high ceilings, love the fact there's still some period details, and then this massive bay window. Lots of light. Doesn't feel like a small flat to me. I'm loving this already. The room's magnificent. Just look at the fireplace.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true.
The bedroom's much less ornate, but is still a good-sized double with loads of storage. But I've spotted some damp on the back bedroom wall, so I'd get that checked out. That said, you only really need to decorate the room, add some personal touches, and the bedroom's home. With its loo tucked behind a wall, the bathroom is dated, and let's face it, far from pretty. You definitely need to put a new suite on your shopping list, I'd say. One good thing is that there's a decent-sized backyard. However, the upper flat does have right-of-way across it, as their fire escape is on the rear kitchen wall at the back. So all the way to the rear of the flat, and you'll find the kitchen. And as you can see, it's in a bit of a state. Definitely visit the local DIY store or get a kitchen expert in to sort this one out. But it's a good-sized space, again, so we like that. Boiler looks like it needs replacing. So all in all, there's things to be done, and yes. But the good news is that not only do you get the flat when you buy this particular lot, you get the freehold of the building, and that has lots of advantages in terms of the fact you get to charge ground rent to the other flat owners, and also you can do what you like to this flat without asking permission. However, it does come with obligations, and those need to be checked out by your solicitor. The freeholder is responsible for the upkeep of the fabric of the building, maintaining the shared hall that both flats use and that sort of thing. But the lease agreement here means that the upper flat has to pay half the cost of any works undertaken. This ground floor flat doesn't stop at ground level. There's more in the basement. Well, down here, a real bonus to the property because you've got a decent-sized cellar. What's more, it doesn't smell too damp. So, in its simplest form, this is a great place to store stuff. But I think you could do much more with this. For a start, you've got a bit of natural light coming in here through this light well. So, why not think about converting it into a kid's playroom or maybe a media place with a huge, great television so you can watch your movies and stuff. Well, there's all sorts of things you can do. Converting it, though, really is a job for the specialists because you've got to think about maybe tanking the walls, maybe putting on special membranes and then pumps to pump away all the dampness. But I think worth the effort. In terms of cost, £800 to £1,500 a square metre as a guide. It could add that value back onto the property, but more than that, it's a lifestyle thing. What a great space to have.
To the basement people, to the basement. Many surprises await you in the basement people.
For anyone buying this as an investment property, would it be financially worthwhile to convert the cellar? What does the auctioneer who sold it think?
I suppose from the basement point of view, it could be converted. The height is there and the potential is there. It could be done. From a return point of view, not sure whether if the property was resold with a basement conversion, whether that would add enough value for the cost involved in doing that. From a rental point of view, again, I'm not sure that the increase in rental return would be necessarily worth it.
What about the rest of the flat that went to auction with a guide price of £35,000 to £40,000?
It's a good size for a one-bedroom flat. The room sizes are good, the ceiling height's particularly nice. It does need some work. Standard renovation, really. Bathroom, kitchen, all needs modernising, and then general decoration. In terms of return, we're probably looking at £400 per calendar month to £425 per calendar month.
What about the potential market value once it's been done up?
The value of the property once completed without a basement conversion will be probably £65,000 to £70,000. If the basement was converted, you could probably see a value starting at around £75,000, possibly up to £80,000, depending on how the rest of the flat panned out. So, all in all, a good-sized flat. Yes, it does need a bit of work to sort it out, but you've got the added advantage of the bit of garden, the basement, and, of course, you get freehold of the whole building. And it's pretty close to Preston city centre, so lots of reasons to buy it. Let's find out who did when it went to auction. Lot 111 is vacant one-bedroom ground floor flat.
This lot was towards the end of the auction, so the room was a little emptier than earlier. Let's find out if anyone got a bargain.
Should we start at 20? £20,000, do we think? 20 I've got straight in. 25 then? 25 anywhere? Stood at the back, I've got 25. 30. 30 I've got there. 32 I've got. 34. 34 I've got. Want to make it 36 then? I think that's a half I've got. OK, 34 and a half, I'll take it. 35,000. Yeah, 35 I've got it. 35 and a half then. Nope. OK, it's with gentleman sat right in front of me at 35,000. 35 and a half, new bidder stood right at the very back. 35 and a half I've got. 36, got it. And a half, got that as well. 37, got. 37 and a half, yes. 38 and a half, I've got it. Want to make it 40. Are you sure? 40,000. 40 I've got. 41. 41 I've got. 42. Shaking his head. £41,000 then to you, sir, for the first time. Second time at 41,000. Third and final time. Well done, sir. Your paddle number is 777.
That final successful bid of £41,000 was made by Paul. He's an engineer who lives in Preston. He bought the flat in partnership with his friend Chris, who's a stockbroker. I met up with them at the flat to find out more. Paul, Chris, good to meet you both. Congratulations. Tell me why you wanted to buy this little flat. Well, big flat, actually.
Yeah, well, I came to have a look around and dismissed it, said I didn't want it, because my initial impression was that it was going to be a smaller place in not too bad condition. And what I found is a larger place, but obviously there's damp problems and various other issues here. I wrote it off initially.
You shouldn't get excited about it because it's probably a bit boring, isn't it? It's a one-bedroom flat.
Yeah.
Whereas the other place, well, the other places we've got are kind of like 6, 7 bedrooms, so it probably didn't just.
There's not a lot in it. I mean, it's not
cellar.
Yeah, there's potential.
Huge great rooms, high ceilings. What do you want?
I was keen. I'd only seen the outside, but I wanted to buy it. But we had our eye on another place at the time, which was a bit more of a knocker. It needed totally knocking around. I think Paul quite fancied the idea of bashing something up a little bit. But then actually rang me when I was having my lunch one day at work and said the auction's in 45 minutes. What do you think? And so we just thought we'd give it a whirl.
It'd be a shame if we didn't go to the auction and it went, for a good price. I'd be a bit disappointed in that.
So you heard about the auction and were told to go to the auction 45 minutes before it started?
Literally. Yeah. It was a mad rush.
Yeah, but the thing with Paul is the ideal guy. That's where the partnership works so well. He's the ideal person to be going to something like the auction. You know that he'll do the right thing as a friend, so that was really good.
Why are you such an ideal guy?
I can imagine if I sent Chris along there, he'd end up going way above the guide price and landing us in a more expensive property, whereas I'd be quite regimented and I wouldn't go over my top.
But it was a little bit last minute.
Yes,
definitely.
Yeah, it was. It was. But it's all good. It's part of the fun, isn't it? It's all part of the fun.
I'm impressed. These guys seem to have a great working partnership. Tell me about the relationship between you two, Paul.
Yeah, we're both friends, and a few years ago I was looking at buying a property, and as Chris already had a rental property, I thought I'd give him a call and see what he thought, and he said, well, I'll go halves with you on the next one. So I started from there. So we went halves on that first property, and a couple of years later bought another one. And the shared, obviously, financially it's easier to share on these, but also the stress levels and assistance on that, it helps. Right.
And so you've invested together on all the properties you've got so far?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Paul and Chris aren't full-time developers, as Paul still works as an engineer and Chris a stockbroker. They intend to use contacts in the trade they've worked with before. So what will they do here? So talk me through exactly what you're going to do to sort this place out.
So we'll start from the front. Metal railings around the front. We'll redo the flagged area at the front so you get a nice first impression. We'll decorate the hall stairs and landing, recarpet that so any prospective people coming in looks pretty sharp. And then go through the house and just give it a nice, fresh, clean, neutral look, really. We
have to, at the back of the property, sort out the damp. So all the plaster's being chipped off and replastered, reskimmed, once the damp's sorted, and then it's a new bathroom and a new kitchen.
Well, no mention of that cellar so far. So do the boys have any plans for that potentially beautiful basement?
I think realistically it's going to be for future development. At the moment we're just going to concentrate on the main house just for speed of getting it rented and getting some money back, but there's clearly some potential in the future, and it's a great storage space at the moment for any tenants. And the budget for all the work so far?
10,000.
10,000?
Yeah.
And a timescale?
6 weeks.
OK.
Start tomorrow. We'll crack on quick. We're all good to go, aren't we?
That's right, we've got everyone lined up for the next few weeks.
Well, listen, congratulations. Lovely to meet you both.
Thanks for today.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Well, it may have been a bit of a last-minute decision, but I think Paul and Chris have got themselves a great property here. But can they really restore it for 10 grand and in 6 weeks? Well, you can find out later in the show.